Hey friends! One of the coolest characters spun from the minds of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby is the amazing Spider-Man. Marvel has produced some awesome movies of this famous web-slinger, which has inspired me to create this demo. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break down the reference into basic shapes that will make him so much easier to draw. I'm using a blue pencil to rough in the basic shapes, and then a black pencil to lock in the details. The first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the reference. And we got a very wide photograph, and it's not very tall. So I need to kind of rough in the overall shape. So I'm gonna kind of put a leg here and then a leg here, which means, and then I'm gonna have a plane that this is gonna sit on about right here, which means the head is gonna be about right here, okay? Now I'm not trying to draw it exactly like it is in the photo. I'm gonna use the photo for inspiration and reference. The first thing I'm gonna do is draw the head. And the head, I'm gonna draw about right here. It's an egg shape. And then, I'm gonna draw this chest area. And that chest kind of slices through just above halfway on his head. And then it comes down right here, so below his chin, like this. So I'm gonna draw kind of a keystone oval, a rounded oval. This is his shoulder and chest mass, all right? Now, right below his chest, there's a little bit of a stomach there. He doesn't have very much of a stomach. It's Spider-Man, by the way. He's lean. Just a little U shape here. And then I'm gonna draw in his shoulders, and they're basically spheres. Look at that. They are circles or oblongs like this, okay? So I'll basically draw from about the neck, down here, neck, down here, a oval. I'll do the same thing up here. And I kind of I don't want this arm to be down like this. I want it to be up like this. So I'm gonna draw it up and then over, up and over. And then I'm gonna draw the shoulder, which is a big oval, like that. Think of it as an orange that's been stretched a little bit, okay? It's gonna kind of look like a robot at first. That's okay. Then this part of his arm is actually going to be a cylinder. So I'm gonna draw the top of the cylinder, and I'm gonna angle the other cylinder away like that. Then this forearm is also going to be a cylinder, and it tapers at the end, like that, okay? By the way, his head kind of center line is right like this, which means his chin should be over here just a little bit. So I'll darken that chin in just a little bit. So here's his head, angling like this. And look, he's kind of looking down. So I'll draw an eye line about like that. Let's finish this arm over here. Center of that arm is going to come down, and then he's going to try to reach and touch the ground here. All right, so we're going to have a cylinder right here. And that cylinder is pretty flat, but it is going back away from him just a touch. And then the other cylinder is right here, and it tapers at the wrist. There's always this little bone right here on the wrist, on the outside of the wrist. Okay, we'll draw the hands in just a minute. Now I'm going to draw the pelvis. And that pelvis sits behind all of this lower, his abdomen here. We can see it comes down to here, and then it rises up, and it kind of tucks underneath his shoulders up there. So I'm kind of making this, I know that this leg starts about like right here, okay? So you see how he's leaning over now? Now this leg is a cylinder that's foreshortened, so it kind of comes like this. When I draw it as a cylinder, then it tapers at the knee and it comes out like that. When I draw it as a cylinder, it becomes much easier to see in space. Now, this part of the leg is coming at us, but this part of the leg is going away from us. So I'm going to draw right over top of this a cylinder that's receding back there. And then there will be his heel. You can see I've drawn this ground plane a little bit too high, but that's okay. That's why I'm drawing in blue pencil. Now I'm going to draw a foot is kind of like a wedge. Think of it as a wedge like this, okay? And then he's gonna have a toe, like that. Where the knee is, I'll fill it in like that. And I know that he's got a kneecap. It's like kind of a little U shape like that. Now his other leg sits out this way. Let's go this way. It's a little flatter, which means it's not as foreshortened. It's kind of flatter to the camera. So I'm gonna push away like this. You can see in this one, a leg comes up behind his shoulder. But I think I've drawn his shoulder just a little bit high. And I wanna make sure that the legs are the same thickness. So I'm just gonna bring his knee like this, hiding behind his elbow. In this one, I can see his leg is almost coming straight down. Well, I'm gonna have him come back this way. Draw his ankle here, and then just connect to the knee. And then I can draw this wedge shape. And then draw the toes like this. Now this leg is a little bit further behind than this one. See, he still looks like a robot or a mannequin. That's all okay. That's all okay. Now his hand is going to be coming straight down like this, and I'll kind of use the same wedge shape. So the hand, I'm going to make it look like a wedge, thicker at the top, kind of where the thumb is. Like that. The thumb comes out like this, and then down like that. And he's got his fingers that come out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now his other hand here, I'm going to turn that into a fist. Remember, if you look at the hand, it kind of goes out to the knuckles, from the wrist to the knuckles. No, these are the knuckles. Make it a slab. This is where the thumb would come out. And then I'm just going to add the first knuckle right here, this part of the hand. Let's get the wrist, forearm. Now I'm going to just kind of connect the dots here. Tighten up that wrist, forearm. I know that the shoulder is like a teardrop shape. It's going to come like that. It's got a tricep that bulges in the back and then flattens down towards the elbow. The bicep kind of rounds right there. With the basic shapes, it allows me to construct the overall forms. Now I just have to add the details. The chest inserts underneath this shoulder, kind of comes back down, and then it inserts right here in the middle of his sternum. So let's do the same thing over here. The shoulder, teardrops, like that. The tricep bulges out the back and then it flattens up. The bicep comes out like that and inserts the top of this other arm. Then we have the forearm. A little bit of a wrist bone there. And the reason I like drawing with that blue pencil, it's light enough that I can draw through shapes and it doesn't distract me too much. And that's important because you want to have continuity of anything that is drawn behind, it kind of comes out. So I've got to have a knee here. Otherwise I might draw the the leg too short. Let's draw this tapered here at the knee, and then it comes out to the groin area. Shin, ankle, tapers at the ankle. And then where the ball of the toe is here, the ball of the foot, I'm gonna create a little shape like this. There's an overlapping shape. Right here, there's an overlapping shape. Then it goes up to the heel. And there's an ankle right here. And the calf goes behind the thigh here. And then I'm gonna exaggerate this shape here to make it look like that leg is really coming up, okay? Now let's take a look at his eyes. His eyes, right here, come down to a point. You can see how there's a pretty big angle there. And it's just below halfway, kind of like what I've drawn here. So I'm gonna draw from here, I'm gonna go up, and then over here I'm gonna go up as well as an angle. All right, let's focus on this eye. This eye here, there's a space between it. So about right here, you need to have a little space. It kind of curves down, not too steep. And then it comes back up here like this. Same on this side. It's a little narrower. And then the inside, the blue part, the lens, is very similar. So we've got shoulders, groin. Now what I want to do is throw in these bionic spider legs. And he's got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. This comes out, it looks like it comes out from his head. This looks like the same thing, but it's actually coming out of his back. But we know, let me kind of round this off a little bit more. So it kind of comes out of his head, which it doesn't. Down like this, and over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing with this one. It's gonna be like a little bit shorter, so it comes out like right here, right above the shoulder. Up, 2, 3, 4. And then over here, comes up out of his head. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this guy kind of meets almost where this one is. Now remember, we moved this arm up, so it's gonna tighten up that space a little bit. So up, over, down, down. There's like a little ball at each end. Let's draw the little knives. Cool. That'd be so scary to wear this thing and be moving around. It has this organic shape to it. Taper's kind of in the middle. Same thing with this side. Circle here. That's the joint. One of the things that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man are these design elements. Straight down his face and then radiating from right between his eyes is this web costume motif. So right between his eyes, there's a line that comes up like this, and then through his face. Same thing happens on his arms and stuff. So let's draw those in real quick. I guess we don't see it very much in the blue areas. Well, now that I've got it roughed in, I'm gonna lock in the details with my black pencil. While my pencil's still sharp, I'm gonna try to draw his head. So, eyes. Big Spidey eyeliner. I'm gonna draw a light on the top of his head because that's where the light would hit him. And I'm gonna draw it darker underneath where there would be shadow. A little bit of a nose here. I'm gonna teardrop the shoulder. Teardrop the shoulder. There's a muscle right here. That's why it's so important to study anatomy, so you know where the muscles are. Can't draw a person without knowing where the muscles are. Teardrop of this shoulder. It's called a deltoid. They insert right here. Tricep. Flattens out. Flattens out, and then there's a muscle right here. And then this bicep inserts. Form, there's another muscle right here. See that? That muscle right there? It's right here. Draw this knuckle. See how this thumb goes into the wrist like that? Oh, so cool. And we can just indicate these other fingers like that. Draw this hip. And these muscles right here. Notice that S curve in his thigh. This goes down to his ankle. His Achilles heel comes out to his heel. See how notice how I exaggerated that insole. Here's his ankle. This S curve here. I darken up this area here. A little bit of a knee there, but I want to exaggerate the thickness of that arm so it's in front. Here's his calf to his ankle, then to his heel, insole with the little bulge there, his toe. Let's draw his thumb right here. And that goes in the skinny part of the thumb. And here's the back of his hand. We'll have his finger here. Now his pinky's really short, so it's gonna tuck behind those other fingers. Now let's draw these awesome guys. Thick on the bottom and thin at the top. I'm no longer looking at the reference, I'm just kind of doing it on my own. Thicken up the bottom here. Same thing here. And I can turn my pencil while I'm using it, and that helps to sharpen it a little bit. Because if you use it the same way, it'll get dull and flat. I love how loose and sketchy this looks. You can still see the blue lines underneath it. Oh, it's so cool looking. It looks so natural. Add a little bit of shadow right in here. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Put some shadow in there. Some weight in that chest. See how it's lighter on the top and darker on the bottom? Okay, let's do the same thing here. We're just basically connecting the dots now. This one's going to be in front, so I'll draw that one first. Just in case the other one has to go behind it a little bit. Darker on the bottom. This is something that I can't stress enough. In order to give your drawing dimension, so it doesn't look like a tracing. Oh, here's an idea too. Instead of adding detail back here, I can just do the silhouette like this, and then just fill it in like that, and automatically it looks like it's back behind him. Just fill it in. Dark things tend to kind of recede away from us, and so when there's no detail and it's just a shadow, that's what it kind of looks like. So I'm going to do the same thing with his torso here. If I just fill this in, it all of a sudden goes back into the distance. Right here I'm going to leave a little bit of light right here on this thigh, like the sun is peeking over it. Okay, he is wearing boots, so I'll just kind of like throw in some of those boot things. Now, sharpen my pencil real quick.
Hey, if you want me to review your drawing, email it to me using the address in the links below.
So I want to add the detail of the web design. It's right to his head. I'm drawing really lightly with a sharp pencil. Now it's kind of like just crossing those other lines. They kind of make little points where they cross, like this. do his face here. I'm just gonna darken in some lines just to make it really pop, the top part. Love the angles. And that's how you draw the amazing Spider-Man. I hope you had fun drawing with me. If you'd like to improve your drawings, go to my website and download these great tutorials, or send me an email. I'll leave a link in the notes below. See you next time.